Hello guys and welcome back to Hey Manager, me Alex, and today we've got Game Week 2 results and the look ahead for Game Week 3 for my Fantasy Premier League team. So let's get into this, let's get back into the action and see how I've done this week. So this week, it was pretty bleak. The graphics above me, just above me here, you'll see a few Premier League players. And then I took a screenshot on my phone of where I was on Saturday evening after all the games, after the Manchester City win. Obviously, I don't have Haaland. You know, the likes of Manchester United getting beat. A few people at Brighton. Brighton players, not Brighton, but Brighton players. You know, after West Ham with Bowen and Souček. You saw Fulham with Smith Rowe that everyone's obsessed with, as well as Robinson that everyone's obsessed with. Those two got returns. We saw Spurs with a 4-0 win. Some people have Son at 10.1%. Romero was quite a high pick. You know, Maddison not too high, but I want him in my team. Then Van der Ven as well. So again, some returns for the Spurs side. And then Arsenal, we saw a Saka assist. Nobody's really got Trossard, to be honest with you, or Thomas Partey. So, you know, we had pretty decent returns all round. So it was looking very bleak. I was around about 6 point something millionth. I think it's literally just come on the screen there. 6.3 millionth on Saturday. As it rolls over to the Sunday, we'll see that I actually am now looking pretty good. I'm sitting at the moment in 2.3 millionth, which is again a rise from last week. We were pretty bleak last week, I'll be honest with you, but this week we've actually gone up a bit, which I'm pretty happy with. So yeah, I think last week we were in the top 33, top 40% of players. This week I'm nearing that top 25%. I'm very, very close to it, I think. So yeah, we'll see how we can perform going forward. I think I am actually in the top 25%, which is pretty cool. So average point 69. We had Sells, we had the Forest duo, Fells and Williams, who got me the 6 points. Nico Williams doing all right. Sells didn't really actually have that many goals against it. Well, shots against him. Expected goals conceded 0.14. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Lewis Hall, a player that I'm thinking about getting rid of. Do I get rid of him and maybe getting like a £4 million defender? I don't know. But yeah, Lewis Hall just not really returned for me, and they've got a pretty nasty run of results here. Run of fixtures, should I say? We've got Spurs, Fulham away, which will be difficult. City, likes of Brighton, Chelsea, and Arsenal on the row as well within the next 7 games. Not brilliant. Then Trent Alexander-Arnold. So he managed to get a clean sheet. Came off in the 71st minute, should I say. Had a pretty decent 2 weeks, to be honest. He should have probably got an assist yesterday. Felt a bit sorry for him. And, you know, expected goal involvements, 0.63. He's had a pretty good 2 game weeks, to be honest with you. And I'll be honest with you, I think Liverpool look very, very secure at the back. I don't know what Arne Slot has done, but they look very secure at the back, so pretty interesting for the future if you want to just maybe, you know, if Alexander-Arnold doesn't get these assists, because I think what he's gone for now makes Alexander-Arnold sit very deep. You've seen here, expected goal involvements of 1.7, so it's going to come at some point. But if he doesn't really get that rhythm going, which is what you're hoping for, you're hoping that last year, you know, on an 8.62, he managed to get 8 goal contributions. The year before that, in 11.62, it's 13 goal contributions. You're looking at this year, 1.7 in expected goal involvements and 0 goal. He's really underperforming. So is he going to bag anything? Is it going to be the midfielders and the forwards that get all the points? I have to say, so 7 million for someone like him. If you can't get the returns, you're probably best going with potentially one of the likes of Mickey van der Ven, maybe Romero, some people that are very good in the air who might get you clean sheets as well. Next up, James Maddison got me my return. I was happy. 2 weeks in a row, he's got me a return. An assist in both games. Looks very good. Pretty much performing as you would expect. Last year was absolutely fantastic as well. 26 games, pretty much 15 goal involvements. Had a very, very good year last year, and only 5.3%. He's been my differential so far for 7.5 million. He managed to return 11 points. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Get me consistent points each week. Rashford, he has gone. That was the draw for me. Didn't even have a shot. Didn't have a shot in either game. Didn't even look like he was going to produce anything. Had a few runs in behind that he wasn't found for. It must be frustrating being Rashford, because if you had, like, you know, an Alexander-Arnold or someone who could really pick out a pass and maybe play a pass in front of you, you would be, you know, on the run. You'd be scoring goals galore, really, like a glut of goals potentially. But yeah, they don't utilise Rashford in the way that I thought they would. They shove him out wide, give him the ball, let him dribble, take on players one-on-one all the time. That's not how football works anymore, which is a shame, but it is what it is. Luis Diaz, he had my return. I was so confident last week. After he had last week a 0.84 expected goal involvements, this week, 71 minutes played. He's rested him as Arne Slot. He's very aware about his match fitness and his fitness of his players. But 1 goal, 1 assist for Luis Diaz, and what a return that was. 8.5% of people have picked him, which makes him a bit of a dark horse, really. Last week, got 3 points, 17 points returned so far, which makes him one of the best in the league. But yeah, fantastic for him. And then, honestly, it was dire straits on Saturday evening, but then into Sunday, and what a game Cole Palmer had. 3 assists, sent up Madueke. Now, Wolves look shocking. I would back any team against Wolves at the moment because their defence was non-existent. Their goalkeeper, Jose Sa, I don't know what's gone on with him, but Madueke, 3 shots from the same angle pretty much, just couldn't stop him. Just didn't get in the way, I don't really understand what went on, but Cole Palmer, the facilitator in all of them, looks so dangerous. The goal just before half-time, the 3 assists to follow it, he looked unbelievable. So Cole Palmer, even on 0.x2 goal involvement, he got 4 goal involvements. So yeah, really, really good return. I think looking at him, I think he's going to perform, and I'm very happy with my choice so far. It's going to be him or Saka. At the moment, I've gone for him because he's, if you look at there now, 17 points, 19-point return. It's pretty good. He's very, very good actually. He's probably one of the best in the league. Isaac, now, probably have to start having conversations about Isaac because Newcastle have a pretty poor run of games here, a pretty difficult run of games, should I say, and I thought he'd actually do something, but he just doesn't seem to be performing. Now, he's selected by a massive amount of people, 53.4% as you can see there. I think he might be my first one to fall out of the mainstays. You're thinking, your Isaac, your Luis Diaz, your Palmer, your Salah, your Trent. People who, well, not so much Luis Diaz actually, but, your players like Henderson, who everyone chose near enough, like a high 15% up, who's like chose by a lot of people. Because you can see here, 3 out of 67. He's the 3rd most picked goalkeeper, Henderson. Havertz, people have started to get him in. He's the 5th most picked forward. Is it time to move Isaac on? Because Newcastle don't look the same. Gordon had a pretty poor game, to be honest. I don't really know how he got his 3 bonus points, but if you listen to the podcast by now that's football or whatever it's called by Gary Lineker and Alan Shearer. Even Alan Shearer had a bit of criticism for Anthony Gordon, selected by 22% of people as well. Are you better off getting Emile Smith Rowe or up front? Am I just literally looking to maybe move Isaac on at one point, try and save money elsewhere, which I've done with Rashford this week. I've taken him out and I've put someone else in who looked very, very good. Is it worth me taking Isaac out and getting someone else in? That's the question. So I think what I've done so far, as you can see, I'll just bring up my transfer history for you. Last week we took out Calvert-Lewin, we put in Chris Wood because I like Chris Wood. I think he had a decent game last game, not too big a game, but at home against Bournemouth he was fantastic. Again, played 70 odd minutes, had a pretty solid run. It looked like they were going to get Nketiah at one point, they didn't. They've improved their offer for Jimenez, I think that's pronounced it, Santiago Jimenez. He looks like he might be coming in to become their first striker, but I got him in before the price rise of 0.1 million, so slowly growing my actual team and trying to get them in. If he does start, and he does start for a period of time, maybe the next week or so, I reckon that Santiago Jimenez is going to play, but Wood I think is a good choice. Then Rashford's gone out. We brought in Morgan Rogers because Morgan Rogers, he looked like a absolutely unbelievable player yesterday. I don't know how on earth they performed so well. I know they were at home, and obviously at home it's going to be a lot easier, but to play the way they did against West Ham, where it didn't look like they were going to win really, and they should have conceded more than that. Well, they should have conceded more than 1, to be honest with you. And then against Arsenal, they completely fixed the defence. You look at it, expected goals conceded, 0.87. I know they were at home, so it's probably a bit of the Villa Park really atmosphere helping them, pushing them forward. But his goal involvement's 0.18. Ollie Watkins, he laid it off to Ollie Watkins, and how he didn't score, I don't know. And that should have been the goal. I don't care what anyone says. That should have been the goal. You would have got your return on Morgan Rogers. That could have changed the game to a degree, but for me, he was one of the best players on the pitch. So they've got Leicester, Everton, Wolves, Ipswich, which is probably the best run of any sort of team I can think of, and you'll probably have that towards the back end of the season again. So I think, yeah, this is probably the time to get your Aston Villa players in. Morgan Rogers is coming in for me. Do I maybe go for an Ollie Watkins and try and risk it because he should have scored two? He should have scored two, but I think what I'm going to try and do now, get my free transfer in. Do I play my wild card one week? I don't know because I'm just wondering if I carry on doing this where I've got quite a few players that return. I'm looking for the week where, like next week, do West Ham play a five at the back? Is it a difficult running for Haaland, who's got three very, very physical centre backs to play against, or is he going to just continue to score? Same with Salah. Is Salah going to score against? He loves to score against Manchester United. Are Manchester United going to go back to the form like when they played at home against Fulham? They looked defensively solid. Are they going to go back to that and maybe see a 0-0 against with Man United and Liverpool? There's been lots of boring games over the years. I don't think Salah looks as good as well. I know he's got returns, but it's been two pretty easy games for them so far with Ipswich and Brentford at home. Yeah, we'll have to see how they fare. But again, some good games here. Forest, Bournemouth and Wolves all for Liverpool coming up. So Luis Diaz and Alexander-Arnold keep their spots. I'm lining up next week like so with a 3-5-2. Isaac on the bench because yeah, I don't know. I don't see him scoring against Tottenham. I think Mickey van der Ven, Romero, you got a doggy, Porro. I mean, the defensive midfield. Like you look at Basuma, who's been playing in there, it's been fantastic for them. Yeah, if you look at some of the players here, if you just go on the player stats, like your midfielders, like who else did play in the middle? Odebear, Brennan Johnson even had a decent game. Gray came in for a bit, Sarr as well, Jed Spence. They've just got a good defensive sort of minded team, and they all sort of press together, which is fantastic by Tottenham, I think. So yeah, I don't really want to get him in. I don't want to get Isaac in this week. He's my first choice off the bench, just in case Chris Wood, if the Santiago Jimenez deal goes through, if they don't play Chris Wood next week, which I'd be very surprised at, then he is on the bench. Now, I'm playing Gordon over Isaac purely because I think Gordon's going to be a bit more of a threat up front. I think, for me anyway. Luis Diaz, I reckon Manchester United might crumble next week. I love Man United. They are my boyhood club. I absolutely adore them. But at the moment, especially how he played against Brighton, I just can't see it happening. And Luis Diaz looks like he's in the form of his life at the moment. He looks sharp, like really sharp. Palmer, I've got him as my captain. Again, they play Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace have had 2 weeks on the trot now where they've just not played well. Brentford scored twice against them, and then this week we saw them play against West Ham, who scored twice against them. I think they're in trouble. I think they're in real trouble, Crystal Palace, because if you look at the defenders here, who they play, Chris Richards, I don't think he's that great. Guehi should be doing better than he did. Mitchell and Munoz, they don't really do much for me either, I've got to admit. And then I actually don't know, is it Nanau? I don't know how to pronounce this. Chadi Riyad Dinanau. They have got rid of Joaquin Anderson to Fulham, and I'm very confused. I am scared for this side. I'm scared. Eze had 12 shots altogether, I think, so far this season. If you look at how many goal involvements or expected goals he's got, 0.9 from 12 shots. He has not performed. He has not performed either. So for me, I reckon Palmer's going to get easily in a goal and assist. So he's in my side. Rodgers against Leicester, he could cause an absolute havoc. But I've not seen the returns yet for me to say that his decision making is going to be there. Maddison against Newcastle, I reckon Maddison's pretty strong. I reckon if I can I'll have to see, because I do have 4 million, 5 million in my budget. If I get rid of Isaac, I'm on 13.5. I'm trying to see if I want Haaland in there. I could easily take out the Maddison or Gordon for a Salah at the moment, if I wanted to. I'm just looking, where do I improve this side? Dallow's probably the next one to go. Manchester United, I've not got anyone reliable for them at the moment. I'm looking maybe getting a Tottenham defender, because they do have a decent run of games when they come back from that game against Arsenal. It's one of them. Do I not? I don't know. And then, do I even bring in the likes of, I mean, Matty Cash went down injured. Do I bring in the likes of that new right back that they've got? I can't remember his name now. What's his name? Nedeljkovic, I think that's pronounced it. Nedeljkovic. Do I bring this man in? Because he looks like he's going to replace him. So yeah, interesting times. But on my team so far, been pretty good. 2 point something million in the world. I'm pretty happy with it. So there we have it. So thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, as I need to go to my end screen, if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like. 255 sub managers. I need to update that right now. But thank you very much for watching, guys. And tell me how you've done in the comments. Let me know how you've done in your FPL. I think so far I'm doing okay. We'll keep it like this for now. But there's always the risk that I could do worse coming forwards. Because if we have a big week from Salah and Haaland again, and then I don't get my returns, my slow returns, that I'm, I've played it a bit tactical this year. Forest, looking all right. Liverpool, got my Diaz in instead of my Salah. Got Palmer in there because I know he's going to be the biggest contributor for Chelsea. Rashford was my worst pick probably by far. Garnacho probably would have been a better one over the last 2 game weeks. Maddison's got my returns, and then my strikers, I'm happy with Havertz. Isaac I'm questioning. Wood I'm pretty happy with as well. So yeah, for now I've got rid of Rashford, I've got Morgan Rogers in. I'm very happy with that midfield. Isaac up front. Do I maybe try and get Haaland in for him? That's the question. Get rid of Dalot, get a £4 million defender in, and then all I've got to do then is try and get rid of one of my goalkeepers and maybe sacrifice if I sacrifice 4 points, I can get my Haaland in after the international break. So we'll see, won't we? So anyways, let's have a look how we do. And yeah, thank you guys for watching as ever. Hope you're all well, hope you're all doing well, and I'll catch you in the next one. From me, Alex, have a great day. Ciao.